Hello, Insiders. I'm Rene Ritchie, your friendly neighborhood creator liaison, and today I'm talking with Jennifer Flattery O'Connor. Jennifer, what do you do at YouTube?
I am the VP of Product Management for Trust and Safety at YouTube.
Last November, we published a new blog post on our approach to responsible AI innovation, and recently we've launched the ability for creators to self-disclose altered or synthetic content that seems real within YouTube Studio. Can you tell us a little bit more about all of these updates and why YouTube is doing them?
Sure. There's a lot of excitement around AI, and I think we at YouTube are also really excited about the potential it has to really enhance creativity on YouTube. But of course, teams like mine, we worry about all the risks that might come from AI. And so we want to make sure we're appropriately balancing the innovation and the risks. So with this launch, what we're asking creators to do is actually disclose when they have made meaningful alterations to realistic content. The reason that we're asking for this is actually when we went out and did a bunch of research with viewers, they told us they wanted to know when content had been altered in meaningful ways like this. And so to try to build trust with our viewers, we're asking creators to help with that disclosure.
So just to be clear, we're asking creators to self-disclose and label content when it's altered or synthetic. YouTube isn't labeling content just all across the platform.
We're not labeling content all across the platform. However, when maybe a particular piece of content that has been altered in a meaningful way is brought to our attention, YouTube may apply a label in that case, even when the creator hasn't disclosed it.
How can creators go about labeling our content and tell YouTube that it's altered or synthetic?
We're trying to make it as easy as possible. So actually in the upload flow on the edit details button, you can actually select this option. We're asking creators to do it for all of their future uploads. If they want to go back and do it for their prior uploads because they feel like it would help their audience, they are also welcome to do that. Right now, we have this option available on Studio Web, but we will be rolling it out to the mobile upload flow soon.
And does labeling have any impact on a video's performance, its reach, its searchability?
No, labeling the content is purely to help viewers in consuming the content better understand that content. It won't have any impact on that video's reach, nor will it have any impact on that creator's monetization eligibility.
So I guess the big question is, what's considered realistic altered content?
Yeah, we know that many creators use editing in their content. And so, of course, you may jump to the conclusion, oh, a lot of content is altered in some way. We're not looking for people to disclose any alterations they make to their content. Really, we're looking for what we're calling realistic and meaningful or significant edits. Maybe you try to depict something that has happened in the real world and you modify that to make it look like something occurred that didn't actually occur. Those are the kind of edits we're looking for creators to disclose.
Yeah, and along those lines, inconsequential changes. You know, creators love doing things like 4K upscaling or just using AI to clean up an audio track that doesn't sound crystal clear, or maybe putting on a beauty filter because some of us wake up looking like this.
Yeah, so those kinds of inconsequential edits, again, are things that we don't think change the meaning of the content and therefore would not be things that we expect creators to disclose.
All right, so from the viewer's side, once the creators do these disclosures, how will they appear in the product?
Yeah, great question. So yeah, we're asking the creators to actually do the disclosure. And then when the creators disclose, there are two kinds of labels that we will put in place on the YouTube side. So for the most part, when creators disclose something as altered or synthetic, we're going to put some additional information in the video description panel so that curious viewers who are looking to understand more about how the content were made can click in and see it there. For videos on more sensitive topics, we might elevate that disclosure by actually putting a label on the front of the video player.
All right, so let me just ask a couple things by way of example. Let's say I made a video where I show it snowing in downtown Honolulu.
We would consider that realistic and meaningful edits, so we would expect the creator to disclose it. This would be a good example of one that we would probably put that creator disclosure in the expanded description below the video player.
And what about if I created a healthcare professional and I had them saying something that no healthcare professional would ever say.
We would definitely consider it realistic and meaningful, so we would expect the creator to disclose it. And here we would really want to surface that more prominently to viewers, so we would put a label on the front of the video. I think the highest order bit maybe that people could keep in mind is, are you altering your content in ways that might mislead or confuse the viewers? In most of the scenarios, that disclosure is just going to show up in the expanded description below the video so that really curious viewers can understand. We're going to put the label on the video player in that more prominent placement, only on these sensitive topics.
If you're worried about what viewers will think of the label, you can add your own context to the description. Like you can say what parts you generated, what parts are synthetic yourself.
For sure. Creators should feel free. I mean, they know their audience is best to provide what additional context they think might be helpful or interesting to their viewers.
And will there be any penalties for creators that don't disclose our content?
So for right now, we want to give some time and allowance for creators to get used to this new disclosure requirement and to better understand what we mean by realistic and meaningful or significant edits. But there could be cases in the future where there are consequences if creators really try to deceive viewers through the alterations of their content in a significant way.
We've gone from CGI and now AI, and this stuff, it just keeps evolving, and content creation keeps evolving. What can we expect to see in the future with all of this?
Yeah, so I mean, I think there's a lot of exciting things that come out from all of these advances in AI. Of course, myself and my team spend a lot of time thinking about what are the risks that come with it. This creator disclosure and the labeling that YouTube will do as a result of that are just one part of our overall strategy. So I think we should expect it to evolve. We're not sure exactly how all of our viewers are going to be able to react to this new label and if it will actually help them in the ways that we're trying to help them. So we may evolve some of the labeling that we do. We're, of course, also investing in a lot of other stuff internally to make sure that we are appropriately responding to the risks around Gen AI. So maybe as an example, I think in the blog post that you mentioned, we published in November, we also mentioned making some enhancements to our privacy removal process.
Yeah.
So, you know, another risk that I think a lot of people are worried about are people being able to create instances of themselves and then depict them doing things that they feel uncomfortable with. And so similar to we have a privacy removal workflow today where you can take down content that features you in an appropriate way, we are enhancing that process to contemplate that people might create fake versions of you doing things that you were not comfortable with, and you would have the ability to get those removed. We don't think that this is the silver bullet solution to all of the risks that might be posed from generative AI, but we do think it's a really important step because as more and more viewers start to understand how content can be modified, they'll become more critical consumers of this content. So asking creators to provide us this disclosure, we think will help improve digital literacy of the overall ecosystem.
Danny, thank you so much for taking the time to answer all these questions. It's incredibly appreciated.
Thank you for bringing this message to our creators, and thank you to our creators for helping us really educate our viewers in this way.
And insiders, as always, thank you so much for watching. We would love to hear all your comments, all your questions. So just drop them below and keep it real.